Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate everybody here. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and putting their like button number in the chat. I love that. I see that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I have to remind people, I hate doing that, but it's like I have to tell people to hit that like button, y'all, because it's part of the algorithm thing. It's how we fight the algorithm beast. We have to do what we have to do now. Let me let the good people of my Discord know that we are live. Everybody come through, y'all. Everyone, we live now. Excuse me. Should have cleared my throat. I got my coffee ready to go, guys. Welcome. Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you. That's right. Hit the like button. It's free. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Connie. How are you? Everybody come through. Make sure you guys are saying hello to each other. Greet each other, man. It is a wonderful, beautiful morning. I could definitely start feeling like fall's coming through. I hate that because I'm a summer girl, y'all. I'm a summer girl. Love the summer, if you know what I mean. So today we got some stuff to review, hoping to keep this this live for about an hour because I got some other stuff I got to do. And I kind of want to, get out a little bit and get some sun and stuff like that. Hey, everybody. I still got my chest infection. Ooh, I am so sorry that is what is happening. Oh, hold up, y'all. Now, hold up. Anyways, you're fighting the whole. I know. I love the summer, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's get it together. So, a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. I definitely want to get into Brian Entin a little bit more because Brian Entin set the streets on fire yesterday with a video that he did, which I hear what Brian Entin is saying. And then we had the press conference, which people were getting some of the like huge backlash and stuff like that. Listen, I think Brian Entin is a great reporter. I stand by. I don't think that Brian Entin has a reason to deceive anybody. He's been doing a lot of media. The thing about Brian Entin is that he to me, he's just a very approachable kind of guy. I've never met him. I've seen his coverage on various topics, and I like him. I like him. I really do. Especially there was this one summer, and I explained it yesterday. I was like, there was that one time. I don't know if you guys put one in the chat if you were here for this. There was a creator here on YouTube who posted Gannon Stout's photos, autopsy photos. I mean, real life photos on a Patreon or something like that. And this person got a lot of backlash on YouTube, right? But also they got called out. So it's like she purchased all of the photos, autopsy. This was after the case was over and Letitia Stout was convicted. Y'all remember, right? Yeah, that press conference was yeah. I don't be dropping that lady's name because the way she handled that was just horrific, in my opinion. But anyways, so she got a little bit of she got some backlash. And Brian Entin was one of the few reporters that actually spoke on it. And I was like, I'm so here for Brian Entin because to me, it almost seemed like it kind of gave like this impression of like, you guys, like, he's kind of willing to talk about not just what's going on YouTube, but also just in general. And he goes out there and he gets the information, if you know what I mean. Right. If Brian Entin is wrong, then a lot of legacy media is wrong too. As of this morning, mainstream is still reporting that Perkins went down in that jail. Well, and I don't know if he is wrong. I'm just going to say this. He stands by his story. He stands by what he reported. So we're going to talk about that. Let me hit this, okay?
Hey guys, so I'm in Minneapolis covering the awful church shooting, but I wanted to get on here for a second and just clear something up. So a lot of you have been messaging or putting in the comments about my story involving what Jako Haro said to informants within the jail as part of what's known as a Perkins operation, which I explained in my latest video. And the district attorney today at the press conference said there was no confession. So I just want you guys to know that I am standing by my reporting.
Why would, in a press conference, the attorney admit to any confession? People need to understand, like, there's a lot of things that were said and not said. Sometimes, and shout out to Cinema Shogun. You got to remember, because, Cinema Shogun does a lot of coverage on true crime, and he's right on the money when he says this. Sometimes you got to pay attention to what they say and what they don't say when it comes to this situation. I'm here for it. I definitely believe that when it comes to law enforcement, you got to pay attention to what they say and what they don't say. Now, that doesn't mean go and fill in the gaps or anything like that. But I personally feel like if this reporter who's been doing this kind of media work for a long, long time is standing by that, I mean, I believe Brian Entin.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my latest YouTube video.
And he didn't take it down.
I talked to my sources again. And if you guys know, I mean, I know I have a lot of new followers on YouTube, but if you guys who know me know how seriously I take this job and how seriously I take reporting factual information. And if I ever did make a mistake, I would immediately own up to it. But I am standing by my reporting. And I realized that the district attorney said that there was no confession from Jako Haro, baby Emmanuel's dad. But I don't know what his definition legally of a confession is. That may be different, but I'm standing by everything that I reported in my video from yesterday about the Perkins operation, about the informant, about that happening in the jail.
Ask yourselves this question: why would a DA, especially with one of the sheriff people said right there that they're currently acted like the parents are cooperating or at least working with law enforcement, right? He said that in the press conference. Why would they go on a press conference and say that somebody confessed? And then ask yourself another question. Why did they go to that area where they went to go look for something? Ask yourselves.
And about what Jako Haro said. And I have quadruple confirmed with my sources. So yeah, I just wanted to address that. And I just wanted to tell, for those of my new followers, like, I'm not just some guy who's just gonna like put out information without being very, very careful about it. And if I ever do make a mistake, and yes, of course I've made mistakes before, I will immediately tell everyone I made a mistake. But I do
I believe it. Like I said, hey, BJ, shout out to BJ in the chat. Wim, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. If you guys have been blessed by Wim, put some hearts in the chat. If you've been gifted. Thank you so much, Wim. Really do appreciate it. You said I got a live on the same exact topic coming later. Yes, I saw that. What the heck is going on here? And why did the cops yesterday thank the normal media when it's mainstream media saying this stuff? Yeah. I think it's a cop-out. I think it's the buck stops. They're trying to figure out who to blame what.
Everything I can to make sure that what I'm reporting is accurate and is double and triple and quadruple checked. And I do not go with sources that I don't trust. And so I'm standing by my reporting. So just wanted you guys to know that. All right, see you guys. Hey guys, so I'm in Minneapolis.
I like that. So he didn't take his video down. And some of you guys actually went into my comments and he said, not a cop out. A cop out. Some of you guys went into my comments, not a lot of you guys, but some people, this is wrong. You should take down this video. He didn't take his video down. I think he is standing on business when he said what he said. I believe Brian Entin. I do. Said I've seen nothing but great things from Brian Entin since I've been on YouTube. So I stand by what he reported. Okay. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I believe him. And again, why would they admit this at a press conference? Why would they admit this at a press conference? They still got a case. Like, why would they even admit this? Why would they admit to any of it? You think someone lied to Brian? I don't think so. Jake is giving everybody a run. Yeah, maybe could very well be the case. Maybe he is giving everybody a run for their, whatever it may be. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know, guys. Let me hit play on this.
Sources that Jako Haro, baby Emmanuel's father, told police that he accidentally rolled over in bed. This is what sources are telling me, and accidentally killed baby Emmanuel, and then buried baby Emmanuel in a place so that he could go there to grieve him, which obviously made no sense. But when you think back to the weekend, Ashley, when police were out searching with Jake Haro in the jumpsuit, they had him out there. Very unusual to see that right along the freeway there in that area. It lines up with the story from my sources that he had indicated, and he's had a couple of stories, which I'll get into, but with this story that he had indicated to police that he buried baby Emmanuel after accidentally killing him.
So, and to be fair, because we do have the interview, I do have the article. BJ, let me know if you need this article. I do have it. I purchased it yesterday after hearing True Crime with Strategic Eyes speak on it. To be fair, there was a paragraph in that interview that said that something about the color of his jumpsuit indicates whether he's around with other inmates or not. Now, that doesn't necessarily, this could have happened before this could have happened before anything. This could have happened. We just don't know. But the thing is I don't expect a DA or a sheriff to come over here and answer questions or anything to tell me the truth about anything, to be quite honest, because I just feel like they are doing what they have to do. Just like the DA say, don't think that the DA came out there to give a press conference out of the kindness of his heart. He truly had to do it because the family did it first. And he felt like, he said it. He said, I have to do this because they did it first. So here we are talking about this. Not because the community was so concerned, the community wanted answers. No, he had to do it because they did it first. His own words. Very first, I want to say 5 or 6 minutes of that press conference, he says it.
The other question I have for you is the second story. The first story was he tells the police he's rolled over on the baby and buries the baby's body out on, near the highway, clearly leading to those pictures. But then there's a second version of Jake Haro speaking in jail. What did you learn about this?
Yeah, and this is very interesting. So sources tell me that there was something called a Perkins operation, which is not unusual in California. And this is when either an undercover police officer or not a police officer, but an informant basically pretends to be an inmate in the jail to get information out of someone who is in custody. And I am told that there was a Perkins operation involving Jake Haro. And as a result of that operation, they got information, the detectives, that Jake Haro had killed baby Emmanuel and had put, and it's awful to say, I mean, it's just awful, but had put baby Emmanuel into a trash can.
So I want to play something from the district attorney.
Let me ask, here's a question that I have. If this is the operation that they did, wouldn't that also have to have been, this is going to be in some kind of a transcript or police report or something, right? Like, I don't want to assume, but isn't that what they would have to do? Like, put it somewhere so that they can have it down somewhere, I guess. I don't know. What do y'all think in the comments or in the chat? I mean, let me know. Now, hold up, as I'm trying to multitask. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to email this to BJ real quick.
In this case, speaking to reporters earlier about the fact that they have a pretty strong idea of where they think baby Emmanuel is. Let's play that.
We have a pretty strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are. That investigation is ongoing at this time. The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries.
So two questions there. We have a strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are.
That was the biggest spread. We talked about this. Now, here's the question that I have. If they don't have a body, listen, this is just me thinking out loud, okay? If they don't have a body, how do they determine that this child has sustained long-term abuse? How do you determine that without a body? If it wasn't for the fact that, and I'm thinking out loud, you're looking at CPS records, you're looking at pediatrician records, you're looking at things like that. How do you determine you don't have a body? Ask yourselves this question. If you don't have a body, How do you determine someone has sustained, a child has sustained long-term abuse without a body? Ask yourselves. Start thinking outside the box when it comes to this, okay? How would they know that? Let's just say they don't have a witness. Say it's not a family member. Think about it. What can you use outside of a family member? A CPS report, a CPS investigator, a pediatrician? Makes you wonder. Because I'm going to tell you, Jake's family doesn't give me the impression that they would talk to law enforcement like that. One sec, guys. Sorry about that. You said, yeah, the family would be towing the line. The family, think about it. Maybe, and I'm just thinking out loud. Jake spilled the beans, the family. I don't think the family's gonna talk, not Jake's family. Sister came live or did a video, which she deleted, okay? She quickly deleted that. She deleted her social media. She's out. Okay? She did a whole video and she's out. She got scared. Okay? So I don't know. So I don't think he ever went to the doctor, did he? Do we have records of what does that look like? I do think that there's a vital record out there for him. Maybe he was registered with the birth certificate. I've never seen it. Not all vital records are available for people to just pull, especially a birth certificate. So everybody's a little bit different. Now, hold up.
How does that square with this story that police say Jake Haro told to, the plant in the jail that I killed the baby and threw the baby in a trash can?
Yeah, I mean, look, they must have some other information, because when they're saying that there's been a history of abuse, whether it's information from neighbors or from, who knows, videos or phones or pictures or whatever, where they have now put together a timeline that baby Emmanuel was abused over time. But it's also interesting, Ashley, that at that press conference, the DA was specifically asked, did you get a confession out of Jake Haro? And he said no. And he almost seemed mad about it, that they were asking about it. And he said no.
He did. I will say that. But like I said, how do they know that a baby has sustained long-term abuse when they don't even have a body to determine that? How do you do that? How do you do that? Who do you have to, you interview professionals, right? And I honestly think it had to be outside the family. Rebecca Haro's family, she was mad at them. They were mad at each other. They stopped talking to each other sometime in March, my understanding. Not fact, completely speculation. It sounds like the grandma has never met this baby, even though she went on camera and he said, they don't do nothing. They're homebodies, yada, yada, yada. That they doing all that. Okay, hold up, yeah.
Which would conflict, you would think, with my reporting. And I just want to tell you, I've double, triple, quadruple checked. I stand by my reporting. I think we're down to semantics here. And in the legal world, a confession, there's a very, very strict definition of that. And I don't know what the DA's definition of confession is when it comes to what he would want it to be in a court of law. But I stand by my reporting when it comes to the Perkins operation.
Maybe confession is the wrong choice of words, because when we think confession, we immediately think like, oh, he can be charged. Brian Entin wasn't the first person who said confession. It was actually Andatira who said it, right? He said, when he said what he said, and he apologized and he came back for it, but he said that he had confessed. So, and a lot of us were like under the assumption that, yeah, that makes sense if he knew where to go. How do they know where to go? Did Jake just willy-nilly say this is what happened and we put the baby here? Or did he talk to somebody in law enforcement, undercover, whatever it may be, and said, this is what I did? Like, we don't know. But I don't know if because when I think confession, I'm almost thinking like there's going to be a result of something, if you know what I mean. And Rihanna, thank you so much for the $2. Information text photos off their devices. That could very well be a thing too, right? Like how they can get information about, whereabouts, but also when was the last time anybody saw baby Emmanuel? Why is he standing 10 toes down on this? Who cares? Until Rebecca flips on Jake, we need to still believe he is still accusing her. I guess I'm confused by your question. Let's see. Brian wouldn't have quadrupled down if it was wrong. I think there's more to it. And why, this is the question. Why would the district attorney admit to anything at this point? What information did we get yesterday? Put a 1 in the chat if we heard anything new. Outside of the only thing they said was they believe it was long-term abuse. What other information did we hear that was new from this situation? Let me know. 0? Nothing? What other new information? Maybe Brian should have said Jake admitted to the guy that he did. Maybe it was the wrong word. Could have been the wrong word that he used. If you leave your phone on travel with it, it leads you to the trail. It said they don't really have anything to gain if they already have the body and don't tell the public. There you go. That's a good point. But what other new information did we hear yesterday? He's probably going to get off the fact that his information is so important and much needed. Hold up. Let me see. I want to incorporate you guys in this conversation because I like to talk to you guys. We all do have a ton of questions that need answers. Brian wouldn't. Okay, I think I read that comment already. Keyboard Warriors Unite. We don't get all the information they have. Well, and again, they can't go off of speculation. What new information did we learn yesterday? I don't think we learned anything new. I mean, other than they believe it was long-term abuse. I'm trying to think. There's nothing else that we learned new from yesterday's press conference. They don't want people looking. They have an idea where this baby's at. Okay? But they don't want people looking. Here's a question that I have. Are Jake and Rebecca watching the press conference too? Are they allowed to watch the press conference? I don't know. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much, love. Chrissy says, thank you for the great coverage on this case, Rabbit. Thank you. Appreciate it. Why did Jake call CPS? That's a great question. Maybe that's something that we learn. Let's see. Confessing to a jail plan isn't confessing to the police. Maybe it's the wrong word that was used. I don't know. You said we all knew that the poor baby has been getting abuse since in the womb. Oh my goodness. It's kind of a sad situation. Look at this. Jake's charged malice murder and Rebecca is charged with murder, right? I thought they were both malice. I could be wrong there. There could have been an update. Rock my world kind of girl. Okay, let's keep going, all right?
And what resulted from that operation, Ashley?
It's hard to believe that they can make the statement, we believe that he was subject to abuse over time, and because of that abuse, he succumbed to his injuries. Does anybody know how they can say that? How they know?
How do they know that? That's exactly what I'm asking. How Ashley Banfield is asking the question that everybody wants to know. If we don't have a body, how do you know that this child succumbed to his injuries of abuse? How do you know that if you don't have a body?
Or how they can profess to know that this baby had been injured many times and thus died from all that sort of collection of injuries?
No, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. There may be more information that they were able to obtain from the operation in the jail that I just don't know about. Or like I said, it's possible that it seems like they've been hard at work, these investigators. I mean, behind the scenes, they may have gotten evidence, again, neighbors, pictures, maybe there's medical records. I'm not sure, but they were very clear in their latest release that they believe that there's evidence of long-term abuse.
If they don't have a body, how do they know that? Unless they're, I'm telling you, I have a feeling, and this is just a theory, it is not fact. I thought about this too, and I've said it before. What if the reason why they had to get, I think Jake has been gone, excuse me, not Jake. God, not Jake. EMMANUEL had been gone for quite some time. They panicked. They might have had to have produced this baby somehow, either to a doctor or a CPS worker or some professional. Okay. So they kind of panicked, and they had to think very quickly about what to do next. That's my thought. Like they couldn't figure it out. They had an open CPS investigation. That's where that information came from. Now, it's funny to me that in the press conference, the DA says, we don't know anything about a CPS, da, 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 da. But the police, let the media know, the major news media, the legacy media, okay, that there was an active investigation that was going on. And I mean, I could pull these articles. We just talked about it. Okay, before the press conference, that there was a sometime on the 21st, they were having some interactions with CPS. Something was going on there, either with the 2-year-old or baby EMMANUEL or something. So to me, it seems like they panicked and they had to figure something out to do very quickly, very, very quickly, if that makes sense. Hold up. Thank you, Rock My World kind of girl. Yes, likes help the algorithm. Please hit the like. Thank you so much. Annie Elise showed the different charges. She did. Shout out to Annie Elise, great content creator too. I believe they want to set the stage for medical neglect and child abuse on paper. If he was 7 months old, no vaccine, it's considered child abuse. Is that considered child abuse in California? Because I thought there was something about you don't have to vaccinate your children. I don't think that's considered child abuse. I don't know. There's some states that's not necessarily the case. You could say that you don't want to vaccinate for religious reasons. That's a thing, y'all. So maybe double check on that and see if that's accurate. You said just because law enforcement says they didn't know about something doesn't mean they really don't. They are not obligated to release all their evidence to the public. That's my point right there. Thank you. There are vaccines exemptions. So you can exempt from various vaccines and it's not considered child abuse. It's just so people are aware. You don't have to vaccinate your children. That's right. Thank you. And again, that's a whole different conversation I don't even want to get into because people do get very passionate about that topic. But let me hit play on this.
So now, if they're doing the Perkins operation on Jake Haro, did they do the same thing on Rebecca Haro in her jail cell?
Yes, that is what my sources say, that there was another Perkins operation for the mom, but a different outcome. I am told that she has stuck to the same story since the beginning, that there was a kidnapping, that her husband, Jake Haro, would never do anything wrong, that he was a good father, and she hasn't changed her story from what I've been told.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
Okay, Chris Cuomo, I'm going to show you guys something. Okay? Let me show y'all something. I did this video on the 24th. The 24th? Okay? The 24th would have been, sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. That would have been the Sunday, right? I did this video on the 24th. It was a live video. Parents had other CPS case in Moreno Valley. So why did they go on the press conference and say that they were not aware of any CPS involvement or anything like that? Another child, I don't know how this is going to play a part into this. That's the article. The way the system works is, that's the article. Major stream media, legacy media. Okay, that would be your ABC 7 News. Okay, shout out to ABC 7. Just like that one sheriff said, you know, I want to thank the major media outlets for, you know, doing the work. This is what they put out. Okay, CPS is, they typically, like, if you have a child, all right, you're the one that's being investigated unless your child's being taken care of by another person. Sure, the other person can be investigated, but CPS is not going to go after that other person. No, they're going to go after the parent. They're going to go after the parent. Okay, so So I'm going to see if I could pull this article right here. And it's called Missing. See what they said right there. Missing 7-month-old baby. Parents are tied to child abuse report in Moreno Valley. Let's pull that article. Okay. Okay, I still have it where I pulled it up. This is it right here. Okay. So how can the DA say, we're going to pull what the DA say real quick because I don't like to mince words. EMMANUEL HARO press conference. Here it is. Let's pull the transcript on this one so we can see exactly what they said word for word. Okay. Okay. So right at the 20-some minute mark.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Given the history that Jake has been obviously charged with previous child abuse cases, has CPS been involved with Emmanuel throughout his life at all, or have they ever checked up on parents?
To my knowledge, CPS has not been involved with Emmanuel. I don't believe there was any CPS involvement in this current case.
To my knowledge, there has not been any CPS involvement in this current case. Right? To my knowledge. All right. Missing 7-month-old baby's parents are tied to child abuse report in Moreno Valley, deputies say. Where's the information coming from? Deputies, right? I think they meant CPS calls about Emmanuel. Maybe. Or maybe this could be on the 2-year-old, right? But here's my question. If this baby succumbed, or excuse me, I don't think that's the word. Is it? It's not. Anyways, I'm making up words now. If this baby died due to injuries related to long-term injuries, whatever the narrative that they just use, right? How do we know that? Succumb. I think I said I think I totally made a different word. Yeah. And yet CPS, what happened there too? Thank you guys for correcting me. Succumbed. Thank you. Moreno Valley, the search continues for 7-month-old EMMANUEL Haro has been missing for over a week. Now it appears his parents are tied to another abuse investigation. Okay, his parents, Rebecca and Jako Haro. All right. So this wasn't about Emmanuel. Was it about the 2-year-old who they removed? Okay. The couples had claimed that their baby was kidnapped in Yucaipa. Rebecca said that she was attacked after Emmanuel's disappearance. The both parents came under scrutiny. Okay, we know this. The search for the baby is ongoing. Deputies say that the Haros are also at the center. Look at this. At the center of other abuse reports. Doesn't say which child. Other abuse reports. Riverside County Sheriff's deputies, this is what the deputies are telling ABC News 7, okay? Say that they responded to a call of abuse in the 23000 block of Cottonwood Avenue in Moreno Valley on Thursday. They confirmed the investigation is related to the Haros, okay? Deputies said that the investigation into the alleged abuse is ongoing. No further details was released. There you go. Is it related to EMMANUEL Haro? Is it related to the 2-year-old? Who is it related to? How many kids did they have living in that premise? Sounds like they had some level of visitation with the 11-year-old, the oldest, on Jake's side. And then there was Rebecca's 16-year-old. Which child are they talking about? But he's saying here that to his knowledge, there was no CPS involvement with Emmanuel.
Charged with previous child abuse cases. Has CPS been involved with Emmanuel throughout his life at all, or have they ever checked up on parents?
To my knowledge, CPS has not been involved with Emmanuel. I don't believe there was any CPS involvement in this current case.
In this current case. Okay. But this is information that they're putting out. They're not saying which child. They're not saying it's Emmanuel, the child. They're not there. There's a lot that they're not saying in that ABC report and then in here as well, right? I think the 16-year-old is Rebecca's child from a different relationship, marriage. They're very selective, to my knowledge. That's right. Do y'all see what I'm saying? So it leaves room for people to kind of speculate different things. There could be a hospital records where they had taken him for injuries, right? Potentially. How do they know that he passed away from his injuries if we don't have a body, right? So there's a lot to say. Maybe the CPS was involved with the 2-year-old. Maybe that could be like I said, it's a lot of speculation when it comes to things like this. I think they meant CPS calls about Emmanuel. For this specific case, what about what they released before? See, they can't get mad at people for assuming or even like wanting to find out if their deputies are putting out information on ABC News. And then here we're hearing something different. And I heard people talking about this. It's like, it sounds like it's a discrepancy. Well, is it? Which child are they talking about? We don't know. I wasn't there. We don't know. It's a lot of questions that we have. And then here, the interview. The interview. You said Isabella put a protection order on her and her son. That's right. Yeah, they aren't on the same page, Becca Scoops. I think that's what it is. I don't know. And again, to be mindful, you got two different agencies, that are trying to work together, which I would imagine that's hard as hell. Overall, we were able to pull a little bit of a sneak peek of those transcripts. I didn't pull them, actually. It was SF Investigates on his 2018 thing, right? So just to show you guys, and this is SF, like I said, SF Investigates on the beat, on the scene all the time, gets the accurate information, right? But Jako Haro does this interview, and I did a short video last night about it. I literally was clutching my invisible pearls when it came to this, because he literally, oh my God, did he go to the other one? Hold up. Let's see. Jako Haro. Let's make sure I pull the right one. Hold on. Make sure I sent BJ the right one too. Yeah, I think I sent BJ the wrong one. Hold up, BJ. Let me re-email you. Hold up. I might have sent you the wrong one. So you have to pay for a subscription for this, for those that don't know, because people are asking, how do you get the article? Hold up. Let me send this to BJ real quick. Okay, BJ, this is the right article. I think I might have sent you the wrong one. Check your email. I know you're in the chat. Okay. Yeah, there could be witnesses that may have that provided info of abuse, and it is protected by privilege or security concerns. That is why they can't disclose everything. Maybe his ex-wives will testify potentially. Let's see. Rabbit, you have worked in the field. This is your specialty. Question: does each child get an individual case number? No, a case number. Are you talking about like CPS? So historically, CPS will code their cases by the mother's last maiden name. So it'll be like one whole case number for the family. Does that make sense? And every system is a little bit different, but like if you have a system, it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Steele family, right? And then however many kids are there. Now, from there, typically other government organizations will create their own case numbers, say like you get benefits or stuff like that. Yeah, but it's one in a CPS, it's one case number for the whole household. Does that make sense? And then there's other coding numbers for billing purposes and stuff like that for other services. But yes. Okay, let's get it together. It's a similar system. He was holding his 2-year-old daughter at the first presser. Yeah, he was. He had his 2-year-old daughter there. It's crazy. Okay. Let's get it together. This is the article. An exclusive jailhouse interview. Father of baby Emmanuel says he would tell his missing son, I love you, buddy. Okay. Jako Haro denied son was victim of long-term abuse. All right. So this is a picture of when he appeared on the arraignment on Tuesday at the Hall of Justice. Haro and his wife, Rebecca, were arrested. And so we kind of know this at this point. Jako Haro said in a jailhouse interview on Wednesday, August 27th, that Riverside County District Attorney Mike, is it Hester? I keep saying his last name incorrectly. Hestrin assertions that Haro's missing 7-month-old son was the victim of long-term abuse was not true at all. But Haro declined to discuss what role, if any, he played in Emmanuel's disappearance. Guys, that is the question. How do you know if a child has been 7 months old, 8 months, actually? He would have, 7 months. We don't know when he died. How do you know that this child was subjected to long-term abuse, was a victim of at 7 months? Okay, so the wording is very interesting. Haro, 32, and his wife, Rebecca, 41, were charged Tuesday with the murmur and filing a false police report with bail set at $1 million each. Haro said little else about the case in the interview with a Southern California news group. Now, this Southern California news group reporter, these are the same guys that talked to Rebecca Haro. Okay, y'all remember when Rebecca Haro said he's a great dad, he would never. Yeah. So I do wonder about this. Okay. This group right here, I don't know if it's like a pool group and then they like all work for different media groups and stuff. But anyways, Haro would not say whether he led authorities to the Moreno Valley Badlands on Sunday. Okay. August 24th, where he was spotted with investigators. He did say he had been completely hold up, y'all. Baby Bunny's playing a game. She got a little game going on. Haro would not say whether he led authorities, no eggs, honey, to Moreno Valley Badlands on Sunday, where he spotted with investigators. He did say he had been completely cooperative. I want to talk about it, but I can't, Haro said, referring to the instructions from his attorney. I was told don't do no press. So if he was told don't do no press, why is he doing press now? Haro wore a red jail jumpsuit, indicating that he is in segregated housing for his protection. He said he had no contact with other inmates. Haro sometimes wiped his face with a white cloth. His eyes appeared to be red. Haro said he attended Banning High, where he played tight end and linebacker on the football team. During the 45-minute interview, Haro said that the couple cares about Emmanuel. They attempted to schedule several appointments to inoculate the boy, but one hospital was continuously out of vaccines, the dad said. They eventually switched hospitals and had an October 2nd appointment to get Emmanuel his shots. Okay. This is a very interesting paragraph. First of all, unless it's like I don't know too many hospitals. I mean, hell, even an urgent care doesn't do shots that I know of. I've been to urgent care before. Shots are typically a pediatrician thing. It's not typically a hospital thing, but every county and community is different. Like, I don't want to like make a bold statement here about this because I did see a lot of people in my comments say, no, they don't do that here. Well, there's a lot of these medical facilities do a little bit. Some will do shots, some will not. I don't know. But it does kind of make you wonder, why would you go to a hospital to get shots? And what, or maybe he misspoke here. I don't know. How do you run out of shots? Primary care or pediatrician, right? And wouldn't you, why weren't they taking him to a pediatrician for immunizations? Hospitals are usually a place like that. Yeah, Jenny, but like, okay, let me tell you why I'm very careful about this. Y'all remember, you guys know we're covering the Alexi Treviso, separate case. Alexi Treviso, she goes and she gives birth at make sure you check out my recent upload on that video. We have a case coming up hearing coming up pretty soon with the New Mexico Supreme Court on that case. But you guys remember when Alexi supposedly went to the hospital for back pain, and this hospital is not an OBGYN type of hospital. So now they're kind of talking about the fact that, even though it's a hospital, it doesn't have that kind of thing where they can deliver a baby or placentas or anything like that. Okay. So that's what I'm saying, is that it just really depends on the area. Some hospitals will do things and some hospitals don't. That hospitals will have a pediatrician on staff. They'll have family medicine. So every hospital is a little bit different. But here's my deal. If there were no shots. What kind of a hospital wouldn't give you a reference to go into a public health department and get your shots? Or why wouldn't they give you like a different reference to follow up? You know, especially because like it's very, I know, honey, it's very easy to like I'm thinking of shots, y'all. Like if you, when they're younger, they get a lot of shots, right? There's going to be a lot of shots, a lot of physical checkups and stuff like that. So it does make you wonder this. You said they didn't care about him. They wanted the primary or pediatrician to see wounds, injuries, or marks. Were they told to go to a doctor and they didn't take this baby to a doctor? This baby needed to go to a doctor. You said, I heard they said that they're going to bring up abuse with his little girl he heard to the judge as evidence of abuse. But the DA said that he didn't know anything about, in this case, no CPS. But it does make you wonder about the 2-year-old. Okay. Some hospitals have departments, not only emergency and acute care. That's right. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you kind of have to wonder. There's no shortage of routine immunizations for infants. There you go. Don't JP give shots? I don't know how it works in America. Yeah, I mean, there's a follow-up to it. So it's, especially in the first year. And what shots would that have been in the first year? Sorry, it's been a while. I mean, my youngest is 3 years old, so I can't remember what the first years were. Hold up. Maybe we could pull it up. First year immunizations for infants, California. Let's see. I think I pulled something here from the CDC. Why don't we pull it? Hold up. Do we have a chart? One sec. One sec, guys. Okay. Sorry about that. So here we have, this is for Santa Clara, so California, right? So you have the RSV vaccine. I'm trying to understand how to read this chart. It's been a minute. Hep B, RV1. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's going to be a lot of vaccines in the first couple of months of this baby's life. Immunization, the MMR. Okay, the MMR would have been right around 12 years. Or excuse me, 12 months. She wants everything. The varicella, hepatitis A, tetanus, the DTaP. So all of these would have been later on. Look, so here in the first, from birth to first to second to third to fourth month, he would have had at least a good, what is it? If they're doing immunizations, it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they give it by dosage. They don't give it all at once, right? So nowadays, with the dosage, they're very small, and they spread them apart in the first year of life. Okay, so how far behind he was at, it's a lot, right? So all of these right here are very important in the first year. Okay, all of these, which then makes you wonder. CDC guidelines, yeah. It was a long time for me, but I recall roughly monthly appointments. Listen, mine was 3. She's 3 now, so I think it was when she was first born. It was very quickly after, and then it was what, the first or second month? Yeah, I can't remember. But that should give you kind of like an idea of immunizations and stuff like that. So he's saying over here in his interview, during the 45-minute interview, Haro said that the couple cared about Emmanuel. They attempted to schedule several appointments to inoculate the boy, but one hospital was continuously out of vaccines, the dad said. So you got to blame the hospital. Don't forget, now this is not fact, this is a rumor. I heard through another source that when the 2018 situation happened, he was shifting a lot. He wanted to sue the hospital. He was blaming the hospital too. Like, he didn't have anything to do with anything. He was blaming the hospital too. Okay. So there's that. Everything, it's like, it's the hospital's fault they didn't have the vaccines. Well, then you go to another referral, you go somewhere else because you're trying to keep up, right? Rebecca Haro claimed that Emmanuel was kidnapped by a man who she said knocked her unconscious in the parking lot. We know this. Haro talked at length about the child cruelty conviction in 2023, which he said prompted investigators to unfairly assume that he killed Emmanuel. Haro said he accidentally dropped baby daughter Carolina on a sink divider, which we know they changed her name, while bathing her, but she appeared uninjured. However, the girl was later found to have broken bones and serious injuries after Haro's wife at the time, Vanessa, woke him up in the middle of the night. She is now bedridden, the district attorney said on Wednesday. Both the husband and the wife made plea deals with the judge over the objection of the district attorney's office. He received 180 days in sheriff's work release program and was handed a suspended 4-year prison sentence in order to attend a child abuser treatment program. Haro said Wednesday that the sentence was fair. If the sentence was fair, then why is he saying the following? He said he tried to take the case to trial, but I pled guilty because I didn't have the money to go to trial. Okay, that's the reality of a lot of cases. Sometimes people don't have the money. They'll just make a plea. The judge said nobody would believe my side of the story. When did he get to talk to the judge? No. I mean, immediately, there you go. There's your red flag. Lie. So my big question is right now is why report the baby missing at all if there's barely a trace of baby EH? Ooh, that's a good question. You said I logged back in and we are on MMRs. Hold up. You said some people have done research and work with pediatricians that are in support of less vaccines for fewer spread outs. Yeah, there's that. Listen, that is not my area of any of that. I can't. All I know is that you got to keep up with the vaccines, but I should probably do myself more research about these vaccines because, there's always questionable things that happen. And you always hear stories. I mean, there was this one, was it a year or 2 years ago, of the woman that was vaccinated with something. She had a horrible allergic reaction and she went into like shock and her body was shutting down. She is just now recovering from that. And that was like a year and a half ago. And it was about the vaccine. It's a horrible situation. But anyways, totally different subject. So he said he went to take the case to trial, but I pled because I didn't have the money to go to trial. Okay. I can believe that he didn't have the money to go to trial. The judge said nobody would believe my side of the story. Somehow, he says, you got to wait 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, you got to wait. You go find your boots. He says, somehow they magically convinced me. They magically convinced me to take this damn plea deal. I was sick of court. The judge knows I didn't do it. They railroaded me. I was the fall guy. He was the fall guy. They railroaded him. He was the fall guy, y'all. Okay. Haro, okay, honey. Haro was hopeful on Wednesday that enough money could be raised, generally 10% of the bail, to free Rebecca, who he wed 3 years ago. Rebecca is innocent, Haro said. The media is killing her. She's a beautiful woman. She loves her children. She's being held at the Robert Presley Detention Center in Riverside. On Tuesday, after the Haros appeared in court, they were separated from one another. Jake Haro said he encountered her after getting off the elevator. I was trying to shout to her, "I love you," Haro said. The deputy shoved me to the ground. He launched me like I was a rag doll. And so he has a, they hurt his shoulder, y'all. I mean, literally. He's a big old poor baby. Poor guy, man. This is such an injustice for him. Everybody has turned on him. This investigation will be ongoing for quite some time, and this is what one of the lieutenants said. We are not going to comment on statements made by the suspect, nor provide any details about the investigation. Haro also talked about this social media posts from the public that have been highly critical of the Haros. God is with us, he said. The allegations are horrendous. So, of course, people are going to be riled up. He said, if you had anything to say to baby Emmanuel, I love you, buddy, Haro said. Okay, now hold up. Let's look at this real quick. So the judge, by the way, the one that gave this sweetheart, I don't know if it's the judge. I don't think it's the judge that gave it to him. There's something here, and this is where I'm totally, I don't feel like I know enough to even give an opinion, but something to do with the judge. And if you guys know in the chat, please put it. Again, this is not my area. So for him to, I mean, this is kind of where he gets the plea, all of this plea to the court. This is the transcript for that. Okay. And it says right there, so the judge's name is there for those that are interested. And this was like apparently a visiting judge. Okay. I'm going to look into getting the full transcripts. I did message someone about it. See if I can get in contact with the court reporter on this, because I am kind of curious about all of this. But what he got, obey all laws. He can't have weapons. There's something in here about weapons. Apparently, it says that 179 days to be served in work release program. Report on or before 7/7/2023. Okay. Now, around this time, if he's been married, 3 years to Rebecca, this would be around the time that they would have already met and dealt with each other, right? They would have already been each other, man. She probably would have already had at least have been pregnant with a 2-year-old around this time. Okay. Just to give you guys some ideas of timeline. This would be around that time, right? He has to pay the assessment fee, pay anything with all these fees that he has to pay, right? To basically have some kind of supervision here. He defendant ordered to enroll in a child batterers program classes by July 10th, 2023. So there's that class, that child abuse class that he had to take. Okay. Here it says, do not associate with any unrelated person you know to be on either probation, parole, mandatory supervision, or post-release community. Give me 1 sec, y'all. I got somebody at my door. Everybody wants to bother me when I'm live, y'all. I do apologize. Okay. So with that class, he had to have provided some kind of an enrollment. Look at this. Participate and complete at your expense counseling, rehabilitation, all this stuff. Enroll in a probation approved 1-year minimum child abuse treatment program. That's there. Okay, that's that child's batterer. Do not associate with any unrelated person to this case. Okay, look at this. Do not knowingly own, possess, or have under your control or immediate access to any firearms, deadly weapons, ammunition, or weapon-related paraphernalia or devices. So what does he do? I think it was I want to say it was September 2024 where he picked up. a weapons charge. He wasn't immediately like reprimanded or anything like that. He is just going to court this month. No, excuse me, next month for it. So there's that. Firearms prohibiting notification form provided to defendant. He couldn't have any kind of firearms on him. He wasn't supposed to. Perform 20 hours of community service through a nonprofit organization. Okay. And then he was supposed to do a criminal protective order other than DVCPO probation issue. He was served with a criminal protection order. Defendant was personally present at the court hearing and no additional proof of firearms. Okay. Hold up. And that is it. And you can find this paperwork on SF Investigates. Okay. Make sure you guys check it out. And stuff, because I think it's important. Hold up. The news that started circulating this morning about Jako Haro allegedly confessing to an undercover officer in the jail never made much sense. I know it's easy to say that now. It's been confirmed he did not confess, but even before that, the story didn't add up. You guys make sure you guys check out SF Investigates. Like I said, he blogs a lot and writes kind of his expert opinion on various topics. But I do wonder, this is the 26th. I haven't been able to watch much of the coverage today of the court appearance by Jake and Rebecca. I would love to know if they made eye contact with each other. It seems like they did about a date when they wanted to have their next hearing. Another reason I think the undercover inmate that supposedly got confession from Jake might be a rumor that spun out of control is that Jake appeared to be in a segregation for his safety. They did say that in the interview. So he wouldn't have contact with the inmate. His housing would be 4 numbers if general population. I could be wrong about the undercover inmate. I just personally find it hard to believe. And I don't see Jake confessing to a stranger. He's not giving up anything without a deal. He says, there it is. So make sure you guys check this. And then this is what he also pulled out, which I thought was very interesting too. He says, this is December 2022, new release from Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hesterson, highlighting his office's concern over judges dismissing more than 1,000 cases in just 10 weeks, including 83 felony cases involving attempted murder, S crimes, child abuse, DV, and more. But the judge was a visiting judge. Okay. So y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. You said how he was ever allowed near kids again or have them is beyond me. So sickening. Rebecca knew and still stayed with this man. She was with them around that time, 2023. I mean, that's what it is. He said, it gives me a release that you pronounce Haro like when you're reading the article because I always feel I don't care, BJ. I had somebody tell me that I need to, what do they say? Bubbles? Okay, honey. They said that I'm rolling my R's like I'm pronouncing it like I'm Mexican. I'm like, well, I am Mexican American. I'm like, please don't leave me stupid comments like that about how I'm saying the name. Now, if I'm saying like a wrong word and I ask you, like, correct me, but like pronunciation, sometimes the rolling of the R's comes naturally. You said, Rabbit, where did the story of the blood in the hole come from? Was that confirmed by law enforcement? So I don't remember there being a hole. I remember the story from major media, legacy media, whatever it's called, saying that there was blood, significant amount of blood found in the home. I remember that being a thing. Now, did they change the narrative on that? That's the question. If they did, what happened? Because I was trying to see if I can find. Oh, cool. Hold up. I remember I heard it too. And like I said, man, we start hearing everything. Let's see. This was 13 hours ago. Jako Haro told cops he accidentally killed and buried baby. Okay. Jako Haro, let's see. Yeah, this was the thing. I mean, and I'm shout out to Hidden True Crime 2. Blood on carpet. Horrific new evidence. Blood lies in the missing baby. inside Emmanuel Haro's. Like, this was what it was. They said that there was blood in the carpet. Now, I don't know about a hole, but that's what I heard too. So that came from somewhere. Who gave that information to media? Well, that's the question, me again. Who, if he was convicted in so the crime happened in 2018. He was convicted in 2023. He's been married to Rebecca Haro for 3 years. She would have had, it's 2025. She would have had to, timeline wise, they have a 2-year-old child. They would have had to have been together around the time that he got his probation and stuff like that. That's what it sounds like to me, that they would have had to at least been together around that time. Shouldn't that weapons charge put him in prison, or that's violate his probation? If he would have been violated when he violated that right away and not wait almost a year later for that weapons charge, the man would have been behind bars. He would have been behind, but he wouldn't have been around for the birth of baby Emmanuel. That's for sure. It makes no sense. Yeah, news. But I heard this from a lot of legacy media. Hold up. Hold up. This is what legacy media said. Okay. Now, when was the press conference? Was yesterday, right? Right. Let's see. There was a lot of reports out there. And the thing is that then what do they start doing? They start redacting. They start moving stuff around and saying different things and whatnot. So that's what I'm like, what are we mad about exactly? When it was your guys' apartment giving information? I have a lot of questions about this. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I could pull this article. How do we know that this baby had been missing for a month? Here it is. Look at this. They were dumping out garbage bins, going through the trash, searching that shed that was adjacent to the property. Okay, Annie Elise, and I think that we're interviewing Annie Elise on this one. And it's my understanding they also have been removing some floorboards from inside the house and potentially had blood on them. Where did this information of the floorboards come? You said that guy stands by. He confesses. We don't know. That's true. Julie, thank you so much for the $5. This justice system failed. Jake should be locked up for his first child, period. They didn't even strip the probation, which he was 16 probation violations all sad. That's right, Julie. That's what I'm saying. Just for that weapons violation. Just for that alone. Right? This is News Nation. They're considered legacy media. Okay? They said it too. So who gave News Nation this information? Who gave these people this information? That's the question. You said Annie Lee said all that when interviewed on News Nation. Yes, she did say that. But like I said, she's not the only one who said it. She's not the only one who said it. There's a lot of outlets that said it too. She's not the only one. The blood thing came out. It wasn't just Annie Elise. It wasn't. There's a lot of sources that say it. She wasn't the only one. But who gave that information out? That's the question. Who gave that information to any of the people? They didn't just. Nobody just pulled it out. Nobody said I saw blood. Somebody said it. There's a lot. That's what I'm like. I don't know if you can just sit there and blame social media for a lot of this. Julie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Brian is one of the best news reporters. I believe Brian was. I personally And this is just my opinion. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I don't think Brian is bluffing or anything like that. He didn't remove his video. He could have easily removed his video, and I could tell you that to me, he seems like the type that if he got it wrong, he would have made an apology video and removed his video and said, "Guys, I got it wrong. Like, I will correct myself." I believe it. But yes, but it's law enforcement. That's their sources too. They're the ones that are no, I can see you. You're not invisible. They're the ones that that are saying things too. You said to me, it seems like there's a rift between the ex-officers of the court in Riverside County and Riverside County. But I could be wrong. You talk about San Bernardino and Riverside County. Yeah, you know, when that sheriff guy, what's his name? Big, short, tall guy. Big, short, tall guy. I just what? You know, big, short, tall guy, the one that was like, good job, Fox News. Good job, people. What's the word? Anyways, yeah, that one, the big, short, tall guy, okay? That guy right there. I forgot his name, but he made us, a lot of us, mad, right? When he was talking about jurisdiction, none of us would have known that. Like, it sounded like there was a little bit of a rift going on between them, you know? So I do wonder if something went down. He's like, it doesn't matter. We were talking about who's gonna take the case. Big, short, tall guy. That guy right there. Big personality, short, tall guy. That guy, right? I forgot his name. I bet you if I see a photo though, hold up. He's the sheriff. He kind of remind me of what's his name? Woody from Toy Story. A little bit. The personality did. Let's see. This guy right here. I heard that he's running for like is he running for office? This guy right here. Chad Bianco. Excuse me, Chad Bianco. Excuse me. That there you go. I think the blood info was released when local news showed up, and they said sources from SB Sheriff's Office told them a significant amount of blood was found. Yeah, and don't forget they had forensics. Thank you so much, SBTV Foundation supporter. Don't forget they had forensics there too. This guy right here. This guy, the short, tall, blonde guy. How dare you insult Woody? Reach for the stars. Lord have mercy. Toy Story never gets old. He is? Oh, really? His name is Chad Bianco. There you go. Y'all are funny. Yeah, so he kind of like, when he said what he said, he kind of gave the impression that there was like this fight going on, or like at least there was some tension going on about who was going to do what. Is it just me who felt that? I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but like when he got up there, hold up, let's see. When he, there it is, this guy right here. When he got up there and he was like, we're so caught up here, this guy right here.
And not sheriff.
I mean, I think I went a little bit too quick, but yeah, like he got up there and he said, sometimes it's the way that people talk that tell you everything. Okay, not this guy. This guy seemed kind of cool. He was okay. This guy right here.
Especially the normal mainstream media for your attention to this and for your cooperation.
Normal mainstream media. You know, Lord have mercy.
This as we were assisting San Bernardino in this investigation, trying to originally find a missing baby, but then eventually quickly learning that that investigation was not something that it started as. Not so much.
This is interesting. You said there's no beef between Riverside and San Bernardino LE. They're beefs with the court system. So it sounds like they're doing the work, but it's the court system thing.
Much for social media and keyboard.
I don't think it's a boomer thing. Shout out to all my beautiful, wonderful boomers. Listen, I get along. I'm good. I don't think it's a boomer thing. I think it's literally I'll tell you what it is. And when I worked in government, I saw a lot of this in the various agencies. They are 7 layers removed from the people that actually pay that paycheck. Okay? The members in that community, They're 7 layers removed from that community, meaning that they're so top heavy, okay, that there's like a supervisor for a supervisor, administrator for the administrator, and they're up there and they're up there. And they're so far removed from the people that actually pay. I'm telling you, man, when I worked in government, this is one thing that I would get in trouble for calling out. I said, why are we so removed from the people that you actually serve, right? You're 7 or 8, 10, 15 layers removed, meaning that there's so many positions under you that when people are trying to get your attention, they got to go from this person to that person, that email, that chain, to that chain to get to that command. This is a real thing. So when I see ego like this, typically it's because somebody's very much removed from the community that they serve. Okay.
Warriors who quite honestly sometimes hamper and prevent us from a good investigation. I do want to expand a little bit about our relationship with San Bernardino. A lot from
why was that important? I don't know, man. Why was that important?
The media, a lot of questions have been raised about jurisdiction. And what Sheriff Dykus and I routinely talk about to our own communities isn't really necessarily displayed in the media or said to the media, but
oh man. Oh, Belen, you are so messy. Belen said that he looked like Yosemite Sam. Belen, give me your devices, Belen. Belen says you look like Yosemite Sam. Oh my God. That's right. Shout out to my beautiful, wonderful boomers. I will say, though, it is giving Yosemite Sam. Sorry, I take Woody back. Belen won on that one.
Neither one of us care about jurisdiction. Our belief is that the Inland Empire is better served when we are cooperating and working together.
Then why even mention? If you don't care about jurisdiction, then why mention it? Huh? What? No, what?
And in this investigation from the very beginning, it was obvious that it could involve both counties. When something like that happens, particularly in this case, the original investigation began with Sheriff Dykus, and if he chooses to take it to the end, he will, which obviously he did. And my position is Sheriff Dykus is responsible for this and the assistance of my department. So there is no asking us. There is no anything like that. It is, we have to serve our public best, and he has every single available resource that the Riverside County Sheriff's Office has to offer to make sure that we provide justice in this.
Again, I feel like that's just like, why would he even say that? But I agree. It's giving Yosemite Sam. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you. Especially the normal mainstream media, Brian Entin 500 yards away. Like, what? I know, right? What does that even mean? Oh man, I'm not. This is gonna be forever in my head. Yosemite Sam, Lord have mercy. Rabbit, in one of the campaign ads in Insta, he said that he didn't step up sooner against bad things in the state because he was focused on protecting his job for his family. Maybe he's doing that again. Lord have mercy. This one, okay, honey bear. Never have seen at social media a lot of talk about jurisdiction. That's right, right? Some people, it's like I said, jurisdiction is, I don't know, man. Let me stop. You guys, make sure you guys check out BJ. BJ is going to be live. I'm kind of wondering, BJ, I want to know your take on this. Hold up, you guys. Let me make sure. This is BJ's channel. Y'all go check out BJ right here. This, you guys, 39 minutes. She'll be live. Let me make sure I share this. Go check out BJ here, okay? I'm gonna be heading out because I gotta go do some stuff. I wanna go outside. Okay. I need to go get some something, some air. BJ, that's merch idea right there. I was thinking because everybody was telling me, he's like, that's merch. I think I have a keyboard warrior sticker. Maybe I need a keyboard warrior shirt. Rabbit, did you get the pics I emailed you? Yes, Aduko sent me a bunch of pictures. That one with the keyboard warrior, I like that. It's giving The Matrix. I like it. The Matrix was one of my favorite movies back in the day. You can't unsee it now. No, you can't. No, you can. Belen gets credit though, because she said it. She said it. Come on through. All right. So BJ is going to be live here in a little bit, you guys. Go check her out. Go get your food, your snacks, all that other stuff. And I will I know, right? There's jurisdiction drama for sure. Media, yeah, about the jurisdiction. They want to know what happened to the baby. I mean, that's the point. But he literally, I don't know about this guy, man. I don't know. Yosemite Sam. That's it. That we did what we did. We did what we did. There it is. All right, guys. I will see. There's a couple cases that I'm working on right now. That I have to update on. But the big one that I think is going to be next week is, for those, I know some of you guys follow me on this, Alexi Treviso has a hearing in the New Mexico Supreme Court. For those that don't know, that is the girl that K'd her baby at the hospital. She lied about being pregnant, gives birth at the hospital. That whole case is a mess and a half. And I know some of you guys actually followed me on that true crime case when I covered it. So make sure we have a hearing coming up. We need to go to trial on that. Hopefully we'll get a trial maybe next year on that case. But all right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, and make sure you guys check out BJ. Bye. I gotta go. Bye. Hit the like button. Bye, guys.